Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jonathan Gaspar, Cheryl Hamill, and the members of the North Reading High School Band. Good evening, and welcome to the Class of 1996 graduation exercises. Before proceeding, I want to thank Mr. Don Bell and Mrs. Mary Staples for the work they did in preparation for this evening's ceremony. Leading their class and seated in the first row of the graduates are class officers Katie Sapienza, Dave Luongo, Courtney Simmons, and Shauna Flanagan, class marshals Marsha McEachen and Ben Gerard, and honor essayists Nancy Poon, Melissa Geishiker, and Ann Brophy. Dr. Troughton, Superintendent of the Schools, will give the charge to the graduating class of 1996.
Welcome, graduates, parents, friends, teachers. Welcome to the class of 1996 North Reading High School graduation. As superintendent, I cherish those rare opportunities to watch students grow and learn and to be part of their celebrations and successes. However, time spent in doing the things that superintendents do, such as developing budgets and securing funding, writing policies, finding new spaces for classrooms, working with teachers and administrators to implement education reform, and finding creative ways to add more time to the school day leaves little time to hear the voices of students engaged in their pursuit of learning. Throughout the year, I attempt to put together a mental scrapbook of those images which capture the essence of teaching and learning in our schools in North Reading. Close your eyes for a minute and see if you can picture your place in this collage. There are pictures of kindergarten students entering school for the first day, a holiday music performance, students demonstrating their work at a middle school projects fair, parents attending open houses, an athletic contest, a musical, the National Honor Society induction, a student representative giving a report to the school committee. You, the class of 1996, are in all of those images. Graduation is the final snapshot in my mind's eye. The class of 1996 makes the book complete. This is your book, your story. On behalf of the North Reading Public Schools and the North Reading School Committee, let me congratulate you on a job well done. Your parents and relatives, your teachers, coaches, and advisors, Dr. Butler and Mr. Pesci, indeed, the entire North Reading community are very proud of you and wish you well. At North Reading High School, it is the custom and tradition for the superintendent of schools to bring a charge to the graduates. Let me say, this is no easy task given the limitations of time and the urge to get on with graduation and the conferring of your diplomas. The charge, you see, must be full of wisdom, impart some truth, reveal some secret knowledge, bring some smiles and humor, and conclude with praise, encouragement, and Godspeed. After all, if the superintendent can call off school successfully during the winter storm, then surely on a wonderful June evening like tonight, this final charge to the graduates should follow the same path of wisdom. In reality, the theme or premise of my charge to you, the class of 1996, came in a quiet way. The inspiration occurred while perusing a rack of graduation cards in search of the right one for a friend of my family. You know the kind. I'm sure that you'll receive many of them today and in the coming days from your parents, relatives, and friends. On the right side will be a message of congratulations. On the left, an inspirational verse, typically penned by some unknown author or poet. The verse and its author on the card that I purchased, however, caught my attention. The poem, with its simple title, If, provoked both questions and answers. The author, poet, was Kipling, Rudyard Kipling. You know, the Jungle Book, Captains Courageous, Kim, and the Just So stories Kipling. Not being a scholar of English literature, I needed to do a little research on the man in order to learn why this particular poem was included in a testimony to graduation. I had mixed feelings, as I recalled that many years ago, a teacher of English reported with great certainty that Kipling was not included in the list of literature read by students in this school. Who was Rudyard Kipling, and what message could he leave for graduates of the class of 1996? Kipling was born in Bombay, in India, in 1865, in the era of Victorian England. England was at the height of its imperialistic period, and the saying that the sun never set on the English empire was justified. As was the standard of the time, Kipling's early years were spent primarily away from his parents, either in the care of servants or in a boarding school. The purpose of this child rearing and education was to produce a man who would set an example for others. There was little room for girls in this educational system. Gender equity was an idea unknown to Kipling's generation. Boys were taught then to be brave, to hide fear and doubt, to endure pain and discomfort, and to suppress emotion. The ultimate goal was to produce an adult who was ready to serve as an army officer, a magistrate, or an administrator throughout the British Empire. Power and control were central. Kipling's poem, If, however, seems to defy and contradict the purpose of his education. While it speaks to us from an era long gone, the message is timeless. Kipling's poem, written in this card, was also written to his son Jack, who was later killed in action in France during World War I. However, it brings a special message to the class of 1996. Listen to Kipling's words. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make no allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired of by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. Kipling speaks here about patience and self-confidence. He is telling you to step back and reflect upon your decisions in life. Don't be persuaded by those who would be quick to blame you. At the same time, do not find fault in others. Follow the universal truth, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you can dream and not make dreams your masters, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. Kipling asks each of you to be both dreamers and doers. However, there is also caution here. The path to the fulfillment of your dreams is not always easy. There will be many times of discouragement, and obstacles will be in your way. There will be those who will revel in your failings. Kipling advises us to keep your eye on the prize. Remember that winning is not always the goal. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to stretch to serve you a turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. Kipling asks you to be prepared to take some risks, yet at the same time, he asks that you be prepared to accept the consequences of your actions and to move onward in new directions. He points out that the path to your dreams will often test your will. You will need to call upon your internal strength, or perhaps, as the Reverend Ebner eloquently stated in his baccalaureate address last Sunday, your moral life. Finally, Kipling writes, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men can count with you but none too much, if you could fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. This final verse speaks to your future success. While Kipling addresses this poem to his son, the message speaks to all of the young women and the young men of the class of 1996. While you may talk with crowds and walk with kings, Kipling asks that you remember to keep both feet firmly planted on the ground. Your future paths may lead in many directions from North Reading, but you must remember the lessons taught here by your teachers, your parents, your advisors, and your coaches. As Kipling concluded, if you can do all of these things, your future is secure. To each of you in the class of 1996, yours is the future, if. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Troughton. Honor essays on behalf of their classmates will now be delivered by Ann Brophy, Melissa Geisiker, and Nancy Poon.
Good evening, members of the school committee, Dr. Troughton, Dr. Butler, Mr. Pesci, faculty, family and friends, and members of the class of 1996. In life, we encounter many things that challenge us. Sometimes we are not sure what we can accomplish or overcome. The fact is that life is full of struggles, and one way or another, we will face these struggles every day of our lives. Of course, the complexity and magnitude of each challenge differs, but we still find ourselves asking, how can I overcome this? How can I get past this and move on? The answer is heart and desire. Recently, while I was encountering personal struggles of my own, a teammate gave me a poem by an anonymous author. I would like to share it with you today. This is your first big game. I hope you win. I hope you win for your sake, not mine. Because winning is nice. It is a good feeling. like the whole world is yours. But it passes, this feeling, and what lasts is what you have learned. The whole thing is played out in an afternoon. The happiness of it, the miseries, the joys, the heartbreaks. There is no telling what will turn up. There is no telling whether they will toss you out in the first 5 minutes or whether you will stay for the long haul. There is no telling how you will do. You might be a hero, or you might be absolutely nothing. There is just no telling. Too much depends on chance, on how the ball bounces. But that is what you do with serious things. You do your best. You take what comes. You take what comes and you run with it. Play to win, sure, but lose like a champion. Because winning is not what counts. What counts is trying. What counts is how you play the game. Winning is fun, sure, but winning is not the point. Wanting to win is the point. Not giving up is the point. Never being satisfied with what you have done is the point. Never letting anyone down is the point. Never letting up is the point. This poem is not just about a game. It is about everyday life around us. Everything we achieve comes from our heart. With that personal crusade in your heart, we can do anything we want. Life can sometimes be like that test that you figured you would fail no matter what. But you studied anyway. The hours of work and studying actually paid off in a good grade. Or that final sprint you made in the game that resulted in the needed steal or the tying point. In science, dedicated researchers and genetic technology have brought about cures for many of the world's worst diseases. And by 2005, they predict that they will complete the Human Genome Project, a genetic mapping of the entire human body. Imagine that. Hey, what about these 12 agonizing years that have resulted in us sitting right here? We never thought we would reach this point, but we have. Do not worry about failure. After all, we are expected to fail before we finally accomplish something. As long as the effort is put forth and we keep trying, winning in some way is inevitable. Just think, you fell down the first time you tried to walk. And did you hit the ball the first time you swung? Babe Ruth struck out 1,330 times, but he also hit 714 home runs. Christopher Columbus totally missed India, but that is part of the reason why we are here today. Retailer R.H. Macy failed 7 times before his store in New York caught on, and now he has stores everywhere. Please leave here today with a vital spirit and a hungry heart. What each one of us wants to change or discover is up to us. Success will be measured differently by each person here. But remember, the higher the mountain, the more magnificent the view. A long life is a gift from God, but a full and fruitful life is one's own doing. Thank you to all those who have helped me become who I am and made my life so full. Thank you. Good evening. The past 4 years have been the shortest years I have ever experienced. In just one blink of the eyes or snap of the fingers, some of the greatest and most memorable times of my life came and went. Where they went, I do not know. I remember, as if it was yesterday, when I was a little freshman at my sister's graduation, listening to the top 3 students read their essays. I thought, what an honor to write about anything you wish to share with your family, friends, classmates, and all the other significant people in your life on such a special occasion. What a wonderful opportunity to express yourself. From that day on, I dreamed that my turn would come and I would deliver a speech at my graduation. And here I am today, no longer a little freshman, but rather a big senior standing before you. Yes, my dream has come true. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Before, I might have said that a dream is just an illusion in one's mind which usually has little chance of coming to life. But now I feel you can make anything happen as long as you believe. We all possess these dreams, and we all possess the strength to follow them, but many of us fail to do so. Yet we are today's future, and our dreams are desperately needed in order to make tomorrow and the day after successful. We must believe in ourselves and the ability to achieve our goals. Do not allow yourself to be afraid of what you can accomplish. As President John F. Kennedy said, we should not let our fears hold us back from pursuing our hopes. Believe in yourself, and the future will fall into your hands. Throughout high school, I frequently changed my goals for the future. As a freshman, I wanted to be a lawyer. As a sophomore and junior, I wanted to be a business major. As a senior last fall, I wanted to be a psychiatrist. And in moments, I become a graduate of North Reading High School. I have no idea what I want to be. But hey, who does? Nevertheless, I am convinced that I will be happy, because no matter what I become, I will believe in myself, and that is the key to success. Confidence puts us one step ahead of those who have yet to learn that believing in yourself truly makes a difference. I know that this feels like the most difficult and at the same time the most exciting point in our lives. We do not know whether to feel sorrow and pain or happiness and fulfillment. Saying goodbye is not an easy thing to do, but sometimes we have no choice. As I thought about this, a familiar quotation from the book Illusions by Richard Bach came to mind that made everything appear a shade brighter. Don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before you can meet again. And meeting again after moments or lifetimes is certain for those who are friends. In conclusion, I would like to share with you a poem from a card I received not long ago, whose contents contain a lifetime's worth of knowledge. Believe in the power of this poem, and I know you will be a success. Follow its guidelines for the rest of your life, and may all your dreams come true. If you'll remember always there's no goal you can't achieve. If you'll try your very hardest, and above all else, believe. Believe that you're a person who has something good to give. Believe that you can make this world a better place to live. If you'll believe your talents and your skills are needed too, then you're sure to find there's nothing in the world you cannot do. Whatever you wish for the future, wherever your dreams may lead, may you find that they bring happiness and the courage to succeed. Thank you to my family, friends, teachers, and to all others who have helped guide me in the right direction. Most important, best of luck in the future to the class of 1996. This is it. This is the day we are finally graduating. It is hard to believe that our years in high school together have passed by so quickly. As I think about my 3 years at North Reading High School, numerous events are conjured up in my mind, but the images are all a blur. As I look out into the crowd, I see so many familiar faces. I see those whom I got to know only as a face without a name. I see those whom I never got a chance to know well enough. And I see all of my friends whom I have had the privilege of sharing the past 3 years. To paraphrase Charles Dickens, high school is the best of times and the worst of times. Do not forget the bad times, for they are what make us stronger. But hold dear to your heart the good times, for they are what make us who we are. But who are we anyway, you may wonder? We are the future of the world. Some of us will join the workforce, some of us will serve our country, and some of us will seek higher education. No matter what we do with our lives, remember that we must sometimes take risks in order to achieve our goals. An anonymous author sums it up best with his poem called On Risking. To laugh is to risk appearing the fool. To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out for another is to risk involvement. To expose feelings is to risk exposing your true self. To place your ideas, your dreams before the crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is to risk despair. To try is to risk failure. But risks must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, and is nothing. One may avoid suffering and sorrow, but one simply cannot learn, feel, change, grow, love, in short, live. Chained to one's certitudes, one is a slave. One has forfeited freedom. Only a person who risks is free. We, the graduating seniors, have been waiting to be free for the longest time. But now that the day is finally here, I can't help but think it would be easier and safer to let my parents make all the decisions and to take all the risks for me, just as they did when I was a little girl. But now is not the time to dwell on or regret our past mistakes. Instead, we must learn from them and use that knowledge to hesitantly take our own risks and to journey on into the unknown future. Sure, high school graduation is often described as the end of the beginning, But let's not forget, it is also the beginning of the rest of our lives. Of course there is sadness, but there is also a sense of accomplishment, joy, and excitement. We now have the opportunity to take control of the pen and begin to write our own new chapters in the book called life. To accomplish great things, we must not only plan, but also act. Not only dream, but also believe in ourselves. After all, we are the only ones holding us back. There are so many scary things awaiting us in the future, but we can make them less scary by learning about them. Violence, drugs, AIDS, rape, poverty, environmental problems, the list goes on and on. Only by learning about the world around us and learning about how we can solve its problems can the future be a better place for all of us. We each have the responsibility to educate ourselves and others on how to make the right decisions for the benefit of society and for the benefit of generations to come. Learn to work hard and work hard to learn, because the sea of learning has no bounds, and in order to reach the shore, we must find the drive within ourselves to succeed. Seize the future in your hands and make the most of it. There are so many opportunities and challenges just waiting for you to tackle. Yes, the future seems scary and uncertain, but as long as you remember where you came from and keep an eye on the goal that is visible on the horizon, you will find your direction and know which way to go. Success is within reach, so take a risk and grab it. Dream great dreams, for it is in dreaming the greatest dreams and seeking the highest goals that we build the brightest tomorrows. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all those who have made even the smallest contribution to my life. So here is a great big thank you to the school administrators, the teachers, the secretaries, the custodians, and the cafeteria ladies. Thank you all to my friends who have made my years here so memorable and so special. I hope I will never forget any of you. Remember, this is only a sad farewell and not a permanent goodbye. Parting is necessary for friends to meet again. And thank you also to my family, my grandparents, my cousins Victor and Michelle, my little brother Jimmy, and Mom and Dad. I thank you all for your continuous love and support. I feel very lucky to have you as a part of my life. All of you are the reasons why I am standing here today. To North Reading High School's class of 1996, I want you to remember you can become anything you want to be. True, there have been and will be many long, hard struggles, shattered hopes, and battered dreams along the way. But keep in mind that if you follow your heart, your ultimate destination will be happiness, fulfillment, and success. Best of luck to all of you in the future, and may all your dreams come true. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, Melissa, and Ann. Additionally, special thank yous go to Bob Pushkar and Linda Welsh, who gave so much of their time at a very busy time of year to work with the essayists in their preparations for this evening. Now, next year, Nancy will attend Cornell University, Melissa will attend the University of Maryland, and Ann will attend Williams College. Please join with me now in listening to the North Reading High School Band play Eagle Crest at the direction of Cheryl Hamill and featuring a trumpet solo by Jonathan Gaspar. thank you, band members Jonathan and Ms. Hamill. There are three categories of scholarships. The first consists of scholarships presented by North Reading-related organizations and individuals, wherein the monies, criteria, and selections are made by a combination of the donating organizations or individuals and a committee of faculty. Here, too, I thank Mary Staples for her work in organizing these scholarships once again, as well as John Gould from the Guidance Department and the committee of faculty. Students, as your name is called, please stand and remain standing at your seat until this first category is complete. Audience, please hold your applause until all the students' names in this category have been called. The Nedio E. Barrasso and Mary Barrasso Memorial Scholarships, Nancy Poon, Eric Anderson. Eastern Middlesex Association of Realtors, Kimberly Baxter. Nancy Freeman Memorial Scholarship, Christina Henry. Joseph Gavin Keep the Faith Scholarship, Anthony Marks. Stephen Gregory Scholarship, Nicholas Herrera. James Gregory Hannon Scholarship, Nicole Holland. Edith F. Holt Scholarship, Kimberly Click. Hunt Memorial Scholarship, Anthony Marks. Knights of Columbus Scholarship, Paul Casey. Frank W. Kendrick Jr. Memorial Scholarship, Christina Lex. Little School Scholarships, Rebecca Marcianti and Eric Anderson. Nicholas J. Morano Memorial Scholarship, Heather Wood. Massachusetts Citizens for Life Scholarship, Sarah Heffernan. Walter Miller Scholarship, Thomas Twiggs. Michael J. Mitten Memorial Scholarship, Jennifer Pepper. Mount Carmel Order of Eastern Star Scholarship, Dina Filosi. Moynihan Lumber Company Scholarship, Ann Brophy. North Reading Assembly Number 103 International Order of Rainbow Girls Scholarship, Kristen Green. North Reading Community YMCA Scholarship, Therese Kazmazak. North Reading Education Association Scholarship, Meredith Reed. North Reading Golden Age Association Scholarship, Catherine Sapienza. North Reading Hockey Boosters Scholarships, William Hanoi, Robert Covert, and Kimberly Bearwich. North Reading Little League Scholarship, Brian Gaspar. North Reading Masonic Lodge AF and AM Scholarship, Courtney Simmons. North Reading Music Booster Scholarships, Jonathan Gaspar and Nancy Zalewski. North Reading Rotary Club Scholarship, Wendy Bolin. Thomas F. Ryland Fund Scholarship, David Luongo. North Reading Youth Basketball Association Scholarship, Mark Bisignano and Kristen Anderson. North Reading Youth Soccer Scholarships, Timothy Fitzgerald, Ann Brophy. North Reading Youth Softball Association Scholarship, Marcia McKecken, Nancy Zalewski. Edward A. Sapienza Scholarship, Benjamin Gerard. Bonnie Sines Memorial Scholarship, Jillian McTeague. James Skinner Memorial Scholarship, Rebecca Casotis. West Village Women's Club Scholarship, Catherine Batchelder. Reuben District Court Scholarship, Melissa Geisiker. And the National Honor Society Scholarship, Jessica Sharenka. Congratulations. In the second category, the monies, criteria, and selection are all established by the Citizen Scholarship Foundation, North Reading Chapter. Under the leadership of Jack McTeague, the total dollar amount to all recipients this year reached $30,000 for the first time in the chapter's history. These monies are generated by the interest from the endowment fund, which now has close to $190,000 on deposit, by the folder sale, by the annual phone-a-thon, and by the tree sale during the holiday season. Through the years, award winners have received $360,000 through the CSF, local chapter, and thank yous are in order to the people of North Reading as well as to the members of the chapter. It is also worth noting that over the past year, endowment fund memberships have been established in the memory of former North Reading High School faculty members Ruth White, Charles McHugh, and Jeremiah Donovan. The president of the Citizen Scholarship Foundation for the upcoming year will be Mr. George Luongo. Citizen Scholarship Foundation Awards for 1996, Endowment Fund and General Fund Awards. Again, I ask the students to please follow the same directions. Nancy Poon, Christina Lex, Eric Anderson, Ann Brophy, Arthur Emmerich, Rebecca Casotis, Danielle DePrizio, Jillian McTeague, Johanna Ebner, Philip Kerrigan, Joanna Miller, Sarah Page, Meredith Reed, Melissa Geisiker, Christina Henry, Timothy Fitzgerald, Dina Filosi, Kristen Green, Catherine Sapienza, Jessica Sharenka, Paul Casey, Heather Wood, Courtney Simmons, Jonathan Gaspar, Benjamin Gerard, and postgraduates Danielle Parthia, Michael Welsh, Jennifer Welsh, Laurie Stanley, Erica Lex, Julie Baker, Justin Peterson, Kevin Cutlip, Jennifer Thompson, Gwen Bork, Nancy Trider, Jennifer DePrizio, Edmund Scarfo, Pamela Curran, Alyssa Quazzo, Jeffrey Pike, Sharon Welsh, Timothy Carter, Michael Fitzgerald, and Tara Forrest. Congratulations. The third category of awards includes the following: the National Merit Scholarship Program Letter of Commendation, Mark Bisignano; the Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award, Ann Brophy; the Voice of Democracy Contest winner, Jason Kakambaris; the Boston Globe Scholarship Awards, Nancy Zalewski and Paul Casey; the Eagle Tribune Scholarship Award, Anthony Marks; Principal's Leadership Award, Wendy Boland; Ipswich AMVETS Auxiliary Post 210 and Ipswich AMVETS Post 201 scholarships, Shannon Jones. Congratulations. Mr. Victor Hernandez, Chairman of the North Reading School Committee, will confer diplomas, assisted by Vice Principal Robert Pesci and Superintendent of Schools Dr. David Troughton. Our Essex commencement photographers has been retained to take an official picture of each graduate as he or she receives a diploma. And I ask that you do not block the views of the audience, especially the audience in the lower rows.
Marcia Jane McEachern. Catherine F. Sapienza. David G. Luongo. Courtney Dale Simmons. Shauna Lee Flanagan. Nancy L. Poon. Melissa N. Geisiker. Anne Margaret Brophy. Benjamin Boyd Gerard. Lisa Janet Hawks. Jonathan Martin Gaspar. Mayuko Minoa. Christopher Michael Dingle. Cheryl C. Carlson. Daniel P. Ronan. Shauna K. Rogan. Patrick R. Russell. Amy E. Thorne. William E. Colby. Caroline Elizabeth Pike. John R. Fields, Jr. Jillian L. McTeague. Paul J. Mantia. Jessica Michelle Schrenker. Robert N. Wallace III. Pauline H. Nicholas. Raymond G. Chesley. Laura L. Gallant. Jack Lambert. Gina Lee Bonomo. Brian Joseph Gaspar. Stacy Melinda Magazoo. Brian Payanessa. Dina Marie Filosi. Anthony Peter Marks. Johanna Joyce Ebner. Jason T. Cacambras. Rebecca Irene Marciante. Timothy Gerard Fitzgerald. Nicole Sylvia. William Joseph Hanoi. Kimberly Annette Click. Joel Houtman. Kelly Ann Steed. Robert James Covert, Jr. Christina M. Henry. Joseph L. Thomas. Kimberly A. Huffman. Mateo C. Lawton. Elizabeth R. Prenny. Nathan S. Spear. Kimberly Joan Baxter. Thomas J. Twiggs II. Christina S. Lex. Mark A. Bisignano. Rebecca Marie Casotis. Eric Philip Anderson. Kristen S. Green. Paul R. Casey. Catherine S. Kelleher. Nicholas Patrick Herrera. Kathleen Mary Abrazizi. Dennis James Brown. Stacy O'Brien Mayette. Ryan Patrick Hurley. Kimberly Ann O'Brien. Michael A. Leonard. Kimberly A. Barowich. David Anthony Oliva. Christine Marie Cuddy. Arthur John Amberick. Laurie A. Dooley. Kevin M. Gill, Jr. Michelle M. LeBlanc. Nicholas Bocelli. Melissa Jean Fagner. Joshua James Bornstein. Therese Ann Kazmazak. Jake L. Bornstein. Karen Santina Fagella. Christopher A. Sawacki. Jennifer M. Pepper. Scott Douglas Robbins. Meredith T. Reed. Mark D. Baronato. Kathleen Patricia Cronin. Aaron Anderson Smith. Nicole Marie Holland. Joanna Elizabeth Miller. Wendy Atea Bolin. Danielle Marie DePrizio. Sarah Elizabeth Page. Noelle Marique Downing. Heather Lee Wood. Lisa Marie Paterna. Gina Galekas. Sarah Jane Heffernan. Shannon Marie Jones. Lori Ann DeStefano. Christina Gavorkian. Lindsay Rose Andriatola. Jocelyn Lee Noyes. Catherine A. Batchelder. Violet Jane Stewart. Kristen Ellen Anderson. Nancy Marie Zalewski.
can't believe I'm up here to say goodbye. Many years we've all spent together, and it seems like it was this last year, our senior year, when we all came together. We've turned over many stones and got through many obstacles, all with hard work and determination. Through all the agony, frustration, tears, and joys, we've made it. We're graduating. I'm proud to stand up here in front of all of you as the president of the class of 1996, knowing all that we've accomplished. We would like to thank the people who allowed us to be so successful. We would like to present to Dr. Butler and the school system with a brand new podium with the school emblem on the front. As my last official duty as president, I would like to thank my fellow graduates. I've grown to care for all of you, and I will sincerely miss all of you. Good luck, and we'll see you in 5 years.
We would also like to thank our class advisor, Mr. Giri. It was him who had our constant support and gave us all his time. This year has been difficult, and we've become frustrated at different times due to functions and fundraisers. But he was always there to tell a joke, make us laugh, and push us forward. This senior year has been so successful, and Mr. Giri has helped make our last North Reading High School year as Hornets very memorable. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the senior class, we'd like to thank friends, family, and faculty for joining us tonight and supporting us. And as class officers, we'd like to say good luck, class of 1996. Thank you.
Thank you, class officers, and all members of the class of 1996. And while we're reflecting a little bit on going on to the next chapter in our lives, I would like to acknowledge and thank 3 faculty members at North Reading High School who are retiring at the end of this school year. Between the 3 of them, they have a total of 90 years teaching at North Reading High School and 116 years in education. So I would like to acknowledge the retirement of Mr. Joe Venti, Mr. Lou Porcelli, and Mr. Ray Landry. We also thank the Auxiliary Police and Mr. Croswell, TCI Cablevision and Rich Porcelli, the maintenance crews, the Rotary Club of North Reading, who sponsors the all-night party. Someone pointed out to me this week that whenever someone sponsors an all-night party, it becomes a special affair in the evening news. And I think we take for granted the fact that here in North Reading, the all-night party has been going on for 40 years. So thank you very much to the Rotary Club of North Reading. I'd ask the spectators to please keep the exiting area clear down here so that the line may remain intact. The high school band will play the recessional, and I'm pleased to present to you the North Reading High School graduates, the class of 1996. Marshals.